Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman, and I am here with the two best friends anyone could ever have. That's right, Mike Casper's on assignment again this week. So let's start with the auspicious Austin Bell. How you doing tonight, Austin?
I'm doing great, Jesse. How are you?
I'm amazing. I get to talk, like I said, to my two best friends in fantasy football. I talk about Dynasty. We had a football game. That was cool.
We did. It was a really good football game, too. I know most people probably didn't know the names of the players, but, it ended in a game-winning touchdown as time expired. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, okay. I watched like 3 plays.
Yeah.
Just to get my eyes on it. My wife was like, "Oh my god."
I watched every play, so don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, right on. How your Panthers looking?
Injured, but competent.
Okay, right on.
It's as good as I can ask for in August for this team.
Yeah. Okay. And my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to be back talking about fantasy football. It feels like we're like in the thick of things now. Like we're getting ready, talking about our rankings. This is where all the work's done. I'm excited.
Right on. Yeah, a lot of camp notes going on. A couple of battles seem like they're starting to work themselves out. A couple big injuries. Yeah, it's exciting. Knock on wood. We haven't gotten that huge one. Well, Pearsall for the year. But, yeah. Right. If you're counting on Pearsall, in your starting lineup, you probably should be taking a step back and starting to build your roster anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Austin. Why don't you tell people where they can find us when we're not podcasting?
Yeah, YouTube and Facebook at Dynasty Front Office, Twitter, X at Front Office FF, and Discord. The link is in the description. As always, this season we're going to be bringing you podcasts and videos, including Trade Bangers, Front Office Focus Players of the Week, as well as our weekly show. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And reminder, join the Discord. Links in the description and the show notes. In this episode, we're going to be bringing you Trade Banger of the Week, Front Office Focus Player of the Week, as well as our 2026 running back rankings.
And if you're live, just to explain how we're doing this, if you're live, just stay with us. We're going all the way through. If you listen on podcasts, it'll come out on 3 separate podcasts.
That's right. Make sure you listen to them all.
All right, now we got running back rankings. This is fun for me. This is my favorite position. Did you guys know that?
No, actually, I didn't.
It is. It's my favorite position in fantasy football. When I started playing Dynasty, I just was all about the running backs. You got to get your 2 stud running backs, and you go from there, because that's how I played redraft. Because that's how redraft was played back in the day. It was a rushing league. But, things change. We morph. We change our strategies, and it's. I don't think it's the most important anymore, but it's still my favorite. And it's my favorite to evaluate when we get to the rookies too.
It's my least favorite, but I also recognize to win a championship, it's probably the most important. So,
really, most important.
Yeah, I think a healthy stud 2 running backs has as good of shot as any position to win you a championship in a given season.
Quarterback.
Sure. Having, Lamar and Allen would be sick.
Yeah.
Until one gets hurt. And they're a lot harder to
running back's interesting for me just because of the philosophy that I play Dynasty with and I've kind of adapted over the years. It's the one position that I'm the most flexible on. So I don't really know what I'm going to do year to year going into the season most of the time with running back and kind of figure it out as I'm going, especially on my competitive teams. So it's really fun in that aspect and knowing that, hey, I'm going to be flexible and my running backs switch out like every 2 years in most of my leagues because I'm always, trying to find the guy that's going to have the spark that season rather than go out there and pay a ridiculous amount for the guys that can do it every single year.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm trying to get my guys in the draft. I'd really rather not have to pay up for them.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to pay up most of the time. That's the beauty of the running back position is a lot of the guys that finish as RB1s you can give seconds for.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I mean, Chase Brown has been criminally underrated for years. Jalen Warren was a Kenneth Gainwell. Both of those guys were cheat codes last year. Yeah. All right, let's talk about our actual ranks. We don't really have to 1, 2. I mean, does it matter? Like,
no, I don't even want to do that.
Right. That's how I feel. Chad, do you need to make an argument?
No.
With Gibbs and Bijan? Okay, cool.
I mean, I prefer Gibbs. You guys know Gibbs has kind of been the guy that I'm going with for a couple of years now. But yeah, I'm not arguing either way on it.
Yeah, I'll flip a coin. All right, so 3 is where we differ quite a bit.
Yeah, I have an argument with you, Jesse. You're not even letting any more words come out before. How in the heck do you have Amari Hampton at 3?
Why wouldn't I?
Why would you? He's had one good NFL game in his career.
How many good NFL games has let's see, who do you have? Love?
I have Genty at 3.
No, I have Love.
Okay. How many good NFL games have they had?
Genty's had more than Hampton.
If we're projecting, I'm projecting the guy in the good NFL offense, which is what the Chargers will be this year. You know, this is you guys know that I have been trumpeting the Chargers offense since they hired McDaniels. They are going to erupt this year, and I want any and all pieces. This is me telling you. This is me proving to you that I really believe that the Chargers are going to be that. Hampton, no, I don't think Hampton is as talented as Love or Genty, but I think he's going to put up better numbers. He's going to put up elite, like challenge the top 2 guys numbers.
Okay.
I mean, Hampton.
Agree,
what's going to happen after this year is people aren't going to understand that Hampton isn't as talented as the other guys because he's going to put up such crazy numbers. That's why I have him 3rd.
Okay.
I mean, if you believe in that offense the way I do, you have to. Basically, you have to have it, and you believe Hampton is somewhere around between the 5th and 10th most talented back in the league, and he's in an offense that you believe in that much, then you absolutely have to have him there.
Okay. I don't think he gets the touches to do that in a given week to put up those numbers, but
I mean, that coach speak stuff that's coming out right now doesn't scare me at all. He is way superior than Keaton Mitchell, who won't even stay healthy. And who's the other one?
Vidal.
Yeah, Kamani Vidal. Come on. I mean, that's not. Yes, they're going to get some touches, but he'll get the lion's share. And I think he'll get plenty of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chad.
I mean,
am I wrong then?
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting because you can find cons to each one of these players at 3, and that's what kind of separates them from those top 2 guys is there are question marks just because of the lack of game time. That's going to happen. But outside of that also, Jeremiah Love, who I have at 3, significant questions with the offense, and also they have a stalwart there in James Conner who can come in and do some damage in the run game. So how much of a role is he going to have? Ashton Genty, he didn't look great. And he was given probably the highest level of workload we've seen from a rookie in some time. Say what you will about the offensive line. I would have liked to see him be more efficient, but at the same time, you saw that they're willing to give him the work, and that's probably the most important thing with running back, especially in this range where they have to be ultra productive to make sense at their purchase price. And Amari Hampton, it's really just going to depend on how the offense is, like you're saying. If it is a high volume passing offense, which I don't believe it's going to be, maybe that cuts into him a little bit, but if they do run the ball quite a bit and try to, find him some space, which I think McDaniels can do. And he's shown he can do that with his offenses. I like it. So, I think it's kind of take your flavor when you're talking about these young guys. It could go either way. I think anybody telling you they know what's going to happen with either one of these three, they're lying, because there's so many different variables with these guys. It's really just pick your poison. That's why I don't like really going out and spending a crazy amount of capital it takes to get these guys until they actually show something, because really the value gain from this point is really not much.
Yeah, for me, if you don't draft one of these guys high, then if I don't draft one of these guys high, I'm just not really going to have them. Outside of when I traded Genty Plus for Gibbs last year, but I was trying to win something.
Yeah. I understand the argument both of y'all just made, and it makes total sense between the three guys. But Jesse, you also have A-Chain below him. I want to hear the argument there. A guy that's put up, I think he averaged 19 touches a week last year, still only 24. Why is he below these guys?
Especially
Hampton, for instance.
I only have A-Chain one spot below where you have him.
Yes, but the Hampton is really what I'm asking.
Okay, well, because I think that Miami is going to be very limited, and it's going to be so. Chad touched on a couple of things. With Genty last year, the Raiders did give him a ton of volume, a ton of touches, but the offense was terrible, and so it's limited what you can really do, no matter who you are. He showed flashes. He had a couple long touchdowns. He showed the electricity, and he put up a pretty good overall year. And I see kind of Miami being that this year. So you might get that kind of year out of A-Chain. But, no matter what he is, he is slated for tons of volume. But, yeah, I have him 6.
Yeah. It feels crazy.
It's the same tier for me.
Okay.
Well, I guess the one thing Jesse's kind of shown in his rankings so far, at least, and feel free to disagree, Jesse, but from what I've gathered from your rankings, you kind of value team a lot more than some people do, which is fine. Not saying it's wrong. And Miami is a glorified expansion team at this point. It is, saying it's bad is, I think, an understatement. It is horrendous. I don't even know what that offense is gonna look like. So A-Chan, when I was ranking him, and I have him, I think at 5. Is that right?
Yeah. 5. You guys have him one spot above me. It's not a huge difference to me.
Well, yeah. So I have him at 5, and even at 5, in the back of your mind when you're ranking him there, you're saying okay, this is probably the most efficient running back in the league, but man, if he can do it on this Miami team, that's going to be special. It's going to be special. And I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying it's going to be incredibly impressive if he does.
So you're right that I consider team and situation, but it's within a tier that I'll do that. So I'm not going to bump guys multiple tiers because I love the situation. I'm gonna need to think the player is good as well.
Okay. Cool. Who's next?
Well, all right. So, A-Chain, we're all around the same here with James Cook and Jonathan Taylor next. Quinn Sean.
Yeah,
I guess I'm the high man on Chase Brown.
Yeah, my worry is longevity at the position. I'm worried they draft a big guy next year. I don't know if they can afford to pay Chase Brown. This is his last year.
They were talking extension all off season, and then it didn't get done.
Yeah, so
that is disappointing.
I would worry that he's not a talented enough back to just go to any offense and have the similar production, as well as really what boosted him last year was just being hyper targeted in the offense and the passing game. So if that happens again, cool, it works, but I have him at the bottom of this quote-unquote tier for that reason. Is just a little more question marks for me going forward.
They love to target him in the red zone.
Yeah, he's been one of the most predictable players as far as role at the running back position. He's been incredibly safe. I mean, if you remember, like even late or earlier in the season, when I was telling you guys, if you're looking for a running back to make a push late in the season, Chase Brown is the guy. And I mean,
I traded for
for
him
me,
all over the place.
he's just so easy to predict. I mean, what was his? This was his like finishes in rank from week 11 on 12, 13, 10, 6, 13, 1, 3, 6. Like and it was so predictable. He's I think he's a great value at where you can get him, and I'm not worried about the longevity because who cares? Like, I want him to produce in season, and if you are worried about the longevity, move off him at that point. These guys that are just very safe, very predictable, and young, it's just free money.
Well, at this point in the rankings, to me, the future does matter. You're talking about a top 12 running back in Dynasty, more than just 1 year matters to me. When we get down to, player 18, 20, 24, sure, the short term is more important, but if you're telling me I got to decide between Breece Hall or Chase Brown, I mean, to me, I like Breece the player better, and even on the Jets, as ugly as it is, future.
But then why do you have Kenneth Walker above him?
He just got paid a ton of money on a good offense.
But he's
I disagree
older
with
and
the
gets hurt
process.
constantly.
I disagree with the process, to be honest. And I do think Breece Hall is a more talented player. I think Chase Brown is a safer player and a safer asset. Also, longevity, like if you're in season and you're worried about it, you can wait till you figure out your team and move off of him easier than I think you're going to move off of Breece Hall. And that's just it. I think Breece Hall had a bit of a value spike where he was easier to move just because people thought he wasn't going to be on the Jets. He's still on the Jets. Nobody wants him on the Jets. And that's where Breece Hall is one of the most talented backs in the league. And his situation is what it is. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have Chase Brown at this point pretty easily.
Yeah, I'd rather have Chase Brown. I mean, unfortunately, I've held my Breece shares forever, and yeah, he's a great back. He's probably one of the top 3 or 4 most talented backs in the league. But it's the Jets. It's never going to get better. It's always going to be the Jets, and he just signed a long-term deal there. The dream is dead of him leaving. He was supposed to go to the Chiefs. Instead, we got Walker to the Chiefs. I don't know. Something about that role I'm not in love with either. So it's a middle of the road offense. They really don't have any passing weapons to open up the run game. And you're going to tell me that Ken Walker's going to be the wagon? He's never been able to do that in his entire career. Like, he had a hot stretch. He gets hot stretches and he'll make big plays, but he's not the consistent type of player to carry an offense.
I would argue he's never been given the opportunity as well. We talk about guys like Ashton, and that's very important, right? It's a very important part of the running back position in Dynasty is the opportunity. Guys like Ashton Genty, that's why they're so high, is even if they don't provide that efficiency, they're going to be ultra productive. They're going to have those ultra productive games because of the production they're allowed to have, right? Kenneth Walker's never been allowed to really have that production.
But there's a reason for that. It's because of his consistency from down to down. If coaches are telling you I'd rather give the ball to Zach Charbonnet and know he's going to get 4 yards than maybe risk getting -2 or 50 out of Kenneth Walker, then that should tell you, that he's in most coaches' eyes, or in those coaches' eyes, he wasn't capable of doing that. Those coaches,
I agree. I agree there, but that's just a matter of process within the organization, right? I mean, you could say the same thing. I mean, obviously not as talented as a player, but you could say the same thing with Saquon and the Giants, right? Like, Saquon and the Giants was, breakaway plays to be had at will, right? But also just like, 6, 7 negative runs a game, right? Because he's always trying to bounce stuff to the outside, always trying to make stuff happen. Kenneth Walker is that big play kind of player. He's just not in an offense that allowed him to be that big, give him the carries to really stretch that out over the course of a game.
Yeah. I think it also remains to be seen if he's going to how many catches he's going to, if he's going to add anything in that area to his game. If he's a 20 to 30 catch kind of guy, and isn't getting a lot of goal line or red zone carries, then,
I mean, I can't imagine Andy Reid doesn't use him as a receiving threat.
He's never been used like that before. So
he's only been on one team.
But he wasn't used like that in college. He's never really shown the skill to do that. In my opinion, I have Javonte one spot above him. He was used in all kinds of high value roles and gets all kinds of volume in a good offense. I would rather have Javonte.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't agree there. I mean, Javonte is getting like 30 receptions a year I think what you can probably bank on. But
yeah, but he'll score. Like, he'll score touchdowns. Like, you can also bank on him scoring 8 to 12 touchdowns.
And
I'm excited to see what
score touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the role with Kenneth Walker looks like. I think it is up in the air. It is debatable.
It's just something we've never seen out of him, so it's a projection. With Javonte,
but
we saw it.
I think there's a big difference between not seeing something from a player and seeing a player do something poorly. And we haven't seen Kenneth Walker as a really poor passing game player as a running back, in my opinion. I just think he hasn't been given the opportunity to do it for stretches. Sample size is very small. We'll see how the Chiefs use him. I don't envision that they brought him in for that kind of money just to say, okay, we're going to run the ball with you 16 times a game and that's it. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't think he's been very good in the passing game, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
I mean, take it for what it's worth. I just looked at the stats with Javonte and Kenneth because it is interesting on the receiving side, and they're within 3 catches of each other the past 3 years.
Yeah,
and targets with Kenneth Walker having a better catch percentage each year.
But with Javonte, it's the goal line role.
Sure, but
and the overall volume.
For Andy Reid offense, I want the guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
And we don't know that Kenneth Walker is not a poor goal line back. They just had Zach Charbonnet, who they said is our goal line back. That's why, I think it's easy to fall into these traps of pegging a player into something. He's on a new team, getting paid a lot of money with a coaching
their running
staff
backs are E.J. Smith, Jaden Ott, Emmett Johnson, Rashard Smith, and Amari DiMacario.
Yeah,
there's no threats to me.
No, that's not true. Emmett Johnson absolutely could be their passing down back if he can pass protect. He's an excellent pass receiver, excellent receiving back.
We can find somebody on every roster that can threaten a certain value point in every position across the league.
But also
those kind of specialists everywhere. But
let's
Kenneth
keep
Walker
this within
is a supremely talented running back.
Let's keep this within context. I have them one spot apart, so it's not like I'm.
Yeah, but you also have Kenneth Walker at 18.
Yeah,
where we have him at 11. That's more the discrepancy for me. Is
okay. Well, let's talk about better backs that I have above
Kyron
him.
Above him.
That's the same tier. Those 3 guys are same tier, but I will argue Jadarian Price, Travis Etienne, Travion, and Bucky all day above him. And well,
we can get into Bucky. That's cool. We talked about it pre-show. Let's discuss Bucky. That's
okay.
A perfect segue to it.
Let's talk about Bucky. I mean, he actually has some of the same question marks whether he's going to get the high value touches or not. But
and he has a proven good player in his backfield, and it's not Sean Tucker, Jesse. It's Kenneth Gainwell.
The difference I see between Bucky and Kenneth Walker is exactly what I said in the beginning of the Kenneth Walker discussion is consistency. Kenneth Walker is trying to bounce, trying to make things happen, trying to make the big play every touch, where Bucky gets the ball and he goes straight at you. You better be ready.
He wasn't good last year, man.
He was hurt last year.
He was. I agree with both parties there. He was playing hurt, and he also wasn't good. This reminds me a lot of how everyone gave up on Travis Etienne, or excuse me, Travis Etienne
Yeah.
before last year.
We're not doing that, are we?
We are. He requested.
I mean,
it,
that's
and
what he
yeah,
asked
I'm gonna do
for,
my
so-
best to
Oh,
do
my
that.
goodness.
So yes.
I guess we're
But
doing
we're
it.
not from Louisiana or anything. you know what I
Okay,
mean?
well that's his last name. I'm gonna try my best to honor it. I'm gonna mess up some, but I'm gonna try.
But
Either way, everybody gave up on him. Excuse me, because he played injured for a season, and this feels like the same kind of thing with Bucky.
that's how I feel.
Now, there's a lot of variance there, is because they brought in Gainwell, and unfortunately still have Sean Tucker. There is a lot of competition in that backfield, but I also think Bucky is the best player in the room. So
He's way better player than
I
Garrett
would
Gainwell.
I would argue that the situations are different because, and like we talked about last year with Travis Etienne, which was a little bit perplexing as far as why he was being, quote unquote, given up on. His situation got better other than Bayshaw Tootin coming in. That was the one big variance that, everybody was kind of looking at and saying, well, how big is the Bayshaw Tootin role going to be? And I think that scared a lot of people. But as far as the offense and what we were expecting from the Jaguars, I think most people expected it to look a little bit better than the previous year. The Bucs offense looks scary to me, and not in a good way. Like I don't think it's going to be good this season. He didn't look good in it last year. Injuries happen. I get it. I mean, I don't know, with the passing game just kind of being ruled out for him completely now. Rashad White leaving is, something huge, right? And then them bringing in the guy that just, stole everything from everybody last year in the passing game is not very
That
nice
was
to see.
such a specific situation in Pittsburgh, though, where Aaron Rodgers just wouldn't throw downfield, so he's just checking down to the running back. Whoever.
Yeah, but
it's not like he did
the
anything.
Bucs-
They were
the
just
Bucs are-
catches.
yeah,
He wasn't efficient with those catches.
they saw that and brought him in. Like he's going to have a plus role in that offense in the passing game. I thought, you guys know, I was really high on Bucky last offseason. I thought he was going to evolve his game. I thought he was going to be given the opportunity to evolve his game. Obviously, they're telling us he's not. He is going to be a running back. He is going to be their 2-down back, and in a bad offense.
I kind of talked myself into that. He's like Kenneth Walker, but not quite as talented. The difference is more consistent. I'm definitely going to have to bump up Bucky down a few. Like I'm going to put him below.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like,
I think I'm going to put him in that. He's going to have to move down to like 15 in that same tier with Kyron, Javonte, and Kenneth Walker.
We've seen running backs have immense first seasons, and his first season was really, really good, and just not be able to replicate it. If the offense was a little bit better, if they gave him, like I said, the opportunity to improve as a player and do more in the offense, I would be more excited about him as a player.
Why do we think the offense is going to be terrible? Look, I'm the anti-Bucs as it gets, being a Panthers fan, but they got rid of the OC who wasn't good. Yes, they lost Mike Evans, I agree, but they still have a deep wide receiver room, probably have a top 5 offensive line in the league. And Baker, who we think is still at least an average quarterback. He was not good after like week 6 at all last year, but again, as always with Baker playing hurt, he's playing on a contract year this year. If anybody's going to step up their game, it's going to be Mr. Chip-shouldered Baker Mayfield.
It's true.
So I don't know if they're a bad offense.
He had a big chip in Cleveland too.
He had a good season in Cleveland. Has anybody else since? So I think they're at least an average offense is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I'm with you there. What I'm worried about with Bucky is the lack of catches and goal line. So if you're a between the 20s kind of guy, your upside is just limited. Even though I think he's a very talented back. A lot of things could happen where he ends up getting those touches and he shoots right back up to an RB1. But yeah, for now I am definitely going to bump him down.
I want to see him healthy
RB2
and not playing that role before I count him out. Similar to how I did with Travis Etienne 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's the other thing. See, I keep going back and forth, but I think what I landed on is why I really put him there is, do I really believe that Kenneth Gainwell is that great of a player that's going to steal that many touches? I think our Bucky could catch the ball, so why can't he have 40 or 50 catches? I don't really think Gainwell is that great of a player. I think
here's the thing.
As a receiving back, he's definitely a step down from Rachaad White.
I think that running game was awful last year. Like one of the worst
They
in the
were.
league.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not ready to look at that. I don't care if Baker gets a little bit better or he's an average quarterback, great. I just don't think they can run the football. And they showed
they
last
were
year they
missing
can do it.
4 out of the 5 starters on offensive line after week 4, which Bucky didn't play any of those because he got hurt early in the season. And again, changed their OC because obviously it didn't work. So again, I'm not trying to be pro Bucks. I feel like they are an average offense.
But
they're
even
better
earlier in the
some
season,
of
the
other
running
ones.
game wasn't great. They ran the ball a lot, but it wasn't
Yeah.
great. So it's like I just need them to go out there and show that they can do something right, because they couldn't pass the ball last year and they sure couldn't run the ball. I think they were 14th in attempts across the league this season, and in every other running back statistical category, counting stats, they were 21st or worse.
Yeah, I'm pulling for them to fail. I'm worried that I think we're overselling what we saw last year.
As a Panthers fan, you're not a hate. He's a Panthers fan.
Yeah. As a Panthers fan.
Yeah.
Which I said that earlier. I said I didn't want to preface it again, but I feel like they're much closer to like team 15 in the offense or 16 middle of the pack than we're thinking at like 25 as an offense. I think they're too talented, especially if they stay healthy, to not be a team that puts up points on most weeks.
Yeah, I could see the passing game getting a little bit better. I'm just for me, the running game's going to have to show it. As good as the offensive line is, they've got to show they can push on offense and run the ball efficiently. So without Bucky getting the 17, 18, carries a game to be relevant.
Yeah, and I don't think he gets that, so that is a question mark.
Yeah, but that's what he was getting in the beginning of the year was, somewhere around that like 14 to 20 something carries per game. He just wasn't doing anything with it.
Okay.
Let's talk Travion. Chad and I both have him Chad has him at 12. I have him at 13. Austin, you're a little lower at 15. Seems like a lower tier to me.
Yeah. No, actually it's not. It's the tier for me would be Breece, Walker, Brown, Bucky, Price, and Henderson. So he's at the very bottom of that tier. Has the ability to jump up into the top 10, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. Vrabel seems to love Ramondre Stevenson, and I don't think that's going anywhere outside of Stevenson getting hurt. They brought up again in the preseason that Henderson's still learning how to pass block, which just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
With what we saw in college, but I guess it's just that much different in the NFL.
Maybe just their scheme has complex assignments. I don't know.
So
I don't know if
I'm
it's
a little worried.
Maybe not a tech. Maybe like he has the technique down, which was enough to get him by in college, but maybe not the physical, ability to really push guys or stop guys in the passing game, because it doesn't make sense. Because I thought it was a really
phenomenal.
Really technical pass protector.
Or maybe it's just the recognition. He's not seeing where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I would. Maybe. I would just.
He was truly phenomenal in college.
Yeah.
What across not just me, like across the board, one of the highest ranked pass pro guys of the past decade at running back coming out of college. And then you see this, and it's the worst in the league last year. How does that happen? Other than it's scheme related. That's the only thing that makes a lot of sense.
It could just be physical. The gap between college and the NFL is pretty vast, and some guys just handle it differently. So sometimes it's not about technique. And he is 5'9", 200 pounds. So, not every 5'9", 200-pound guy is going to have the same level of physicality in pass protection. So, it's confusing. It's a confusing situation.
But yeah, that scares me. That's why he's a little bit lower. I would After talking Bucky, I could see putting Bucky at the bottom of this tier, but Travion scares me. I'm a huge fan, believe in the talent, but the usage or lack thereof is going to scare me until I see it. So
for me, it's simple. I'm not willing to give up on that ceiling yet.
Yeah, I get it.
We saw it when Ramondre was out. If the coaching staff ever trusts him, I think he's fully capable of being an RB1.
The issue for me is examples of like DeAndre Swift in Detroit.
Yeah.
When a coaching staff just doesn't believe in you, you just don't get the opportunity. Yeah. And that scares me that this coaching staff doesn't believe. I mean, I was a ginormous Swift fan in college and coming out, and I always believed, if he gets that chance, he's going to go, and he just was never going to get that chance in that offense.
He just he strikes me as like the DJ Moore of running backs, like where he's not always exactly where he's supposed to be. He's not always running the ball where the play is designed to go. He loves to bounce it outside. He's always trying to hit a home run. We
talking about Travion or Swift?
Swift. He's not a
I mean, totally different players. It not was the philosophy
player.
Is what I'm talking about. That worries me is he's going to spend the next 3 years here in New England, most likely. And are we ever going to see where they just give him the reins and say, go be your talented player you are? Because I kept thinking that.
Isn't it funny, though, that it's the same offensive coach?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That Swift is playing for?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean is it just scares me, and I just scared that's going to happen. So, like I said, he's at the bottom. I want to see him up higher because I'm excited for the player. But until I see it, he's going to be at the bottom of that tier.
Yeah.
He's the one guy that, like, during my ranking, I want to move him lower. I do, but man, do people love this guy. And part of my rankings that just plays into it because it's so easy to trade these kind of guys. Travion Henderson last year when he was struggling, he was very easy to move for me. And I did move him in a couple leagues. But I mean, they've got to give him a shot, right? Got to give him a shot. And I think if you can get him somewhere around like RB14, RB15, like Austin has him ranked, from a value standpoint, I mean, he's one of those guys that could see a monumental gain if he finishes anywhere but, close to RB12.
Yeah, I mean, if he has a good year, then you're 100% right. He's going to jump up into that probably 6, 7, 8 range in Dynasty. If he doesn't, where's he going to go?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. There's people are going to hold out hope for him, I think, for a little bit longer. I don't think he's a dead asset after this year if he doesn't get the full workload again. I think it's probably going to be another season or two, before we really see people give up on him, if that is the case. But, there's just not many running backs in this range other than the rookies that have that kind of upside that Travion Henderson have. So if you can get him, like I said, RB14, RB15, like Austin has him ranked here, that to me is a great buy-in price.
What are you wanting to buy him for then, price-wise? Like I know the running backs, I see that, but I mean, are you giving your contenders 27 first and I don't know what it would take, probably like another running back? I mean, it's going to take some kind of piece plus that first to get him, right?
I'm not.
I mean, it's going to depend. I don't think you can get him for RB15 price right now, but like I said, if we get in season and he struggles a little bit first few weeks, I think you're going to see a dip, right? And that could be your buying window. If you truly believe in the player. So I think it's going to depend. I think right now it's hard to buy these players because people are, everybody has the best case scenario in their mind with their rosters, which is just human nature. So it's hard to buy any of these young running backs right now, but get in season, let people see a couple of bad games, which tends to happen in the run game, right? Like, some guys are going to start off a little slow and maybe you see that kind of buy window with Travion Henderson where you can get him for a first plus a little bit more.
All right. We all sort of have a tier of old guys.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs. I don't really care what order they come in. Chad, you have Bucky and Tootin in that same range. I have Tootin in that same range. So does Austin. I think a big discrepancy we see here is Austin and I have Scatterboo at 22, 23, and Chad, you have him at 15.
No.
So you were saying before we started that you think you're basing that on just volume, massive volume in this.
Yeah, I think the volume is going to be ridiculous this year. I don't want it to be. I am a Giants fan, but you guys know, like I do not homer my team in Dynasty. Like I'm not even really a big Cam Scatterbo guy. I don't think he is. He's a player I want long term, but I think he has one of the biggest upsides at running back this season from a value perspective. He's one of those guys that could see the biggest jump. People love him. The casual fans just love Cam Scatterbo. He's a very hard guy to acquire right now, going into the season. If he gets the kind of workload I think he's going to get, and if he gets the kind of workload that a lot of beat reporters think he's going to get, I think it's going to be pretty crazy, especially because that offensive line is, I think, going to be a top 10 unit this year in the league.
Yeah, I just think he's replaceable. That they're looking to add a higher talented running back, and that could happen as soon as this coming off season. So my expectations are tempered with him. I have him as a low RB2. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
You also have to believe that the Giants are going to be good enough for that volume to matter, and I haven't seen that be the case in a little while.
What do you mean good enough for that volume to matter?
Well, if the Giants aren't a good offense, you can hand them the ball as many times as you want, like Ashton Genty last year. Not saying that the Giants are as bad as the Raiders were. The Giants actually have to be a good, functional offense for that to matter.
I disagree.
Neighbors has to be healthy, and they have to have another option besides.
They had a top 8 running game last year, and they were the only team without a 1,000-yard rusher in the top 8. No, there was one other team. I think it was Baltimore.
But that also includes a lot of rushing yards from the quarterback, and that's the other.
Yeah,
thing.
No, it does.
Has to
it does. But that is a benefit for Cam Scatterbo. That's not.
Yeah,
when Cam Scatterbo was running the football, I mean, he was getting the opportunity in the running game, in the passing game, and I mean, it looks like it's going to be even ramped up this year. I think if you were not buying Cam Scatterbo because you think that he is replaceable, I just think that's bad process, man. To be completely honest, just from Chad, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
You just told me that the price, it's very hard to acquire him. I'm not acquiring him because the price is too high at the long-term value that I see. So no, that's good process.
Well, I'm saying is you have him ranked at RB22, right?
Right. So I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to.
I don't think you can get him at RB15 price right now. I don't think you can get him there.
Keep trade cut asking between Jadarian Price and Bucky at running back.
Which is what?
17, 18, 19.
Yeah, I don't think you can get him for that price.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I'm saying is if you can get him for this season, I think he's one of the best buys at the running back position. I don't care about longevity. I don't care if he's replaced in 2 years. Right? I want the running back who's going to gain value and give me plus this season. I want value on my roster. You can sell these players.
If I believe that the Giants, if I fully believe the Giants were going to be a good offense, I would agree with you. But like I said,
a good offense. What does that even mean? They're going to run the ball, and they run the ball well. Like that's who cares if they're good? They probably won't win a ton of games. It doesn't matter.
No, it's not wins and losses. It's good offense. I want, like we've been talking about this all night. So the difference, I would much rather have Jadarian Price because he's on the Seahawks. They are good. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They have a good offense. That is yet to be seen from the Giants. So I'm tempering
I couldn't disagree more, man. I think I care more about opportunity than I care about a good offense. That doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't see volume as this huge key. right? Just depending on volume alone. You're even
well, nobody's saying
you don't
volume alone. Nobody's saying volume alone.
You just said that you don't even think that he's that good of a player, and you don't even like him that much as a Giants fan.
That doesn't matter.
So what else are you even basing
it doesn't matter. It's about production, right? And what everybody else
right. So if I don't think the offense
player,
is going to be good, then you can hand him the ball a million times in a row. And if he smashes into a brick wall and he doesn't produce anything out of it, then I don't want him on my team. Then he's not good.
Based on what? Their offensive line got better this offseason.
Okay,
and they were
Chad,
good last year.
It's a projection.
All right,
the Giants' offense has not been good in a long time, dude.
I want to ask you,
what is the projection based off of, though? Right, because we just saw the offensive line was a top 15 unit last year,
Chad,
right? And the run game, they were a top 10 unit last year, and
we saw the
better.
number one offensive line in football fall down to bottom 20s. You can't predict that. Last year, the Eagles' offensive line last year was terrible after being the number one offensive line.
But there were injuries. That's not predictable, right?
Those guys were playing.
Yeah, playing injured though.
They were, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that
what I'm saying is if you're basing everything on that offensive line and just that they're going to be good at running the ball because of that, I think
I'm not basing everything on the offensive line. I told you these are the factors, right?
I think
because this is what I have to separate what I think about the player, right, from what his value is now. What I think his value will be later, what his role is going to be in the offense, and what everybody else thinks about the player. Right?
I'm telling you that if it's not a functional offense, it won't matter.
Most of those key points, hold on one second. Most of those key points, right, are pluses for Cam Scatterbo right now.
Okay, so the ifs are Dart's progression, Neighbors' health, and the emergence of a second option in the passing game. If those things don't happen, then it's not really a good offense, and it's not. They're not going to be functional.
Cam Scatterbo was ridiculously productive with Neighbors not in the offense. With Jackson Dart being what he was games. Before he got injured,
until he got hurt.
But it was for a few games. We have not seen it over a season. It is a projection.
Yes, of course it's a projection, but it's based off of factors that matter.
Okay.
Right? That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but the factors that I listed matter too.
But, I mean, not really, is what I'm saying. Okay. Neighbors getting Chad, better. Jackson Dart.
All right, Chad, they can be a terrible offense, and he's just going to be RB1.
Well, that's not the point I was making. I wasn't saying it could be a terrible offense, and he's going to be RB1.
I think it could be
You're being hyperbolic because your argument makes no sense. But, yeah, we can move on.
Chad. My argument absolutely does make sense. All right, if the Giants' offense is bad, you can hand him the ball as many times as you want, and he's not going to produce.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, let's bring up two players we just talked about because I am curious about this. So I have a lot of Travion on contenders. Would you move Travion for Scatterbo in a second? Let's call it 28. Let's get away from the 27 class.
No.
Is it close for you, Jesse?
The second doesn't move the needle. I need something that's gonna.
I don't think you can get any more. Is kind of why I put a second there. Like I mean, we could throw in a vet receiver if you would prefer that being your contender. I don't know the name, but let's just think of a
like Cortland Sutton or something.
That was actually the name I thought of. Ironically, like that was the exact name, but I didn't want to say it. Something like that. Like
I'm not. I mean, all right. So that's going to be somewhat roster dependent, but
let's just call it a contender. Like I have a ton of rosters where Travion is probably my RB2, maybe 3 on these big boy contenders, and I'm scared. So like, do I go and move off the bigger name Travion for somebody like Scatterbo, who I don't believe in nearly as much, but I actually could see Chad being right in the asset that this year Scatterbo produces of amount of points.
It's the upside that I don't want to move off of. That's the problem.
That's the question. That's exactly my question here is it the short-term risk for Scatterbo, which could be, I mean, we've seen plenty of running backs not be that talented and produce for a 3-year span in Dynasty and at work. Whether we believed in it or not, they put up points. So is that risk worth it for a player like Travion, who we all agree has plenty of question marks?
No,
Okay.
not for
Chad,
not
what
for
do you
me.
think?
So here's the thing. I think it is roster dependent, but I think it's based off of if you have Travion Henderson as your second running back on your roster and you think you were anywhere near competing, you're not building your roster right. You probably need to move off of him. I would move off him for Cam Scatterbo in a second at that point. Because I think Cam Scatterbo is a much more attractive starting running back at this point than Travion Henderson is. Plus I think the value to be gained if you don't believe in him is probably a more sure thing this year, so you can always quote unquote upgrade if you want to once the season ends. I think if you have Travion Henderson as your like RB RB3 RB4 and you believe in the upside that much, then maybe you're saying, okay, you know what, let me just hold on to him just in case it spikes, right? And I think that the value lost I can make up elsewhere on my roster with other roster moves. So that's going to be where I'm at with him. I just think, man, if he's your RB2 this year, you're not competing. You're
That's
you're tricking
kind of
yourself.
why I use the RB2, because at 3, I agree. If he's my 3 or 4, I'm holding Travion and hoping it happens.
Yeah.
But if he's my 2, and let's say I'm loaded everywhere else, we all have rosters where one position's weak. So I'm going to say it's running back, and he's my 2, and maybe I have Dobbins and Hubbard and a couple other, Montgomery that I could plug in at RB2, but I don't have that second big boy name. Is Travion or even Bucky or somebody like that worth risking losing the upside for and taking what could be the high ceiling with Scatterbo for a short period?
I think with Bucky, I think you definitely give up on Bucky if you're in that situation. With Travion, I think it's a little bit tougher. Just
Bucky,
because of like everything baked in with the draft capital, with the talent on the team, with the foundation piece on quarterback that we know is going to be there for a long time. They just have a lot of stability. So that part I really like. Where Bucky has a lot of those things kind of going against him. Plus the offensive line is, it's going to be interesting to see how they look from a running game perspective. But I mean, it's tough because you can also say, hey, you know what? I have J.K. Dobbins, or I can go get J.K. Dobbins, and maybe he can fill in that RB2 role like you were mentioning. And maybe in that case, I feel a little bit more comfort where I can say, okay, maybe in name, if I'm writing down on a list, Travion Henderson is my RB2, but in actuality for the season, from a redraft perspective, he's really not. David Montgomery is, or J.K. Dobbins is, and that would make me feel a lot more comfortable.
So for me in that situation, you're asking me to move 10 spots in my rankings just by adding a second or Cortland Sutton. That's not enough for me. And I understand that I can't get more, and that's why I would just hold. Okay. I think Travion is a hold right now. I mean,
what
unless
about
you
the
get
name like Brees? We all, y'all both kind of dumped on him this season for ceiling with being on the Jets. Would you? And I don't know the price point for Brees to Scat. I'm assuming it's not much more than a second either. Are you just wanting to hold Brees?
Yeah, I'll hold Brees. It's the same. It's the same reasoning.
Okay. Same with you, Chad?
It's going to be roster dependent again. I mean, I churn running back so often, right? That, I mean, if I can get a plus, I'm likely going to try to take Cam Scatterbo and make the flip. If not, if Brees is my RB1, then I'm probably not doing it. If he's my RB2, I'd probably do it. Like if I have a better running back on my roster, a more stable piece, then yeah, I'd probably have no problem with that.
Jesse, let's entice it a little because I know how much you like Brenton Strange. What about that Scat and Strange for Brees? And let's say a third.
I thought about that.
The person feel good.
Like a 0.5 premium.
Yeah. Does that do enough for you? Like I'm just trying to think because I think a lot of people, myself included, are in these range of having these running backs between 11 and 25 and don't really know what to do with them. Do you hold them? Who's going to produce? Who's not? Do you take value?
I think that's fair.
Okay.
That's not something I would say no immediately to. I would definitely have to think about it. But the problem is I just don't want to move off of Travion because I think It's just it's the wrong time. You know, if he blows up, I'm just going to kill myself over it.
Okay, hope don't do that. But
I mean, you know what I mean.
We'll cut that part.
I guess the next name I wanted to bring up is another second-year player. I want to talk about RJ Harvey. We just teased Dobbins. I know, surprise, he had an injury in training camp, but it was just a one practice injury. He was back the next day working on the side, so that's good news. They drafted Jonah Coleman. What are we doing with Harvey?
I was hoping not to have to talk about Harvey.
I feel like we have to. A lot of people were especially invested last year. You know, he got a ton of, I don't know if it was good usage, but he got a ton of like random usage.
He got really good high value touches, red zone catches.
Yeah.
Like they love to target him in the red zone. That's what I really like about him. He's got a lot of ability still. He's got to develop. You know, he's got to develop as a rusher or it's going to end up not mattering. I put him in the same.
Yeah, you've got him at 25 with Scat, Tootin, and Swift.
Yeah. I mean, for different reasons. All of those guys are for different reasons.
Chad, you were the highest on him last year. Why are you the lowest?
Yeah, I'm not touching him. Okay. I mean, situation matters so much. There is no other position where situation matters as much as it does with running back, and the situation is one of the worst in the league for RJ Harvey. It's bad. It's really bad. I wouldn't trade a second for him right now, to be honest.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, you guys know he was my RB5 coming into the year.
That's why
I still think he's a pretty talented player. I'm not touching him.
Yeah, I don't think the situation is that bad. He's behind a player that gets hurt every single year.
Yeah, and
he's not even he's not even behind him. They're sharing back.
Yeah, and they brought in another back as well
in the 4th round.
Yeah, but I think Coleman is going to take more Dobbins touches than would be Harvey touches. Watching Coleman last year, I don't think he's quick enough to be a threat out of the backfield. So.
I mean, I think they took Coleman because they assumed Dobbins is going to get hurt, and
it would be different if Harvey showed us that he was a primary passing game back last year. He didn't do anything in the passing game. I think his highest passing targeted game was six targets, 5 or 6 targets.
Yeah, the usage was weird. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like it wasn't good as in the amount, but as Jesse said, it was meaningful touches. So
yeah, but I mean that's going to change from year to year. Like it's not.
I agree.
Like, that's not predictable. I'd rather see a running back get 10 targets and maybe it wasn't that efficient, rather than a player get 1 touch, 2 touch, 4 touch, 1 touch. Like
he had blue touch me there.
He got 58 targets and 47 catches last year, so five receiving touchdowns. That's pretty good work for a rookie.
Yeah,
7
but
rushing.
It's the touchdowns floating it.
Absolutely.
For a primary passing game back, it's not enough. It's not, especially when you're talking about the guy in front of you is J.K. Dobbins, and he was injured.
Well, what I think you saw though is they started to trust him more and more as the year went on. Sean Payton.
Yeah, but the starting to trust was 5 targets. That is the starting to trust. It's not
okay. 5 targets in a game for a rookie that's not a terrible thing, and it's not crazy to think that could increase this year. Like I said, he has to progress as a player. He has to earn coach's trust, and he has to get more touches. But I thought that was very promising, and the fact that he got 12 touchdowns means they want to use him in the red zone. They think he's a weapon in the red zone.
Yeah,
so if that's
pretty good at it.
If that's part of his game, and if it all comes together for him, that's a high producing fantasy player.
I would also caution though that most of his touchdowns came late in the year when J.K. Dobbins was hurt.
Well, that's true, but I'm assuming he's going to get hurt again.
Yeah,
how dare you?
Yeah, I would assume that too, but still, if you're going out there and buying, you don't. At least I.
Yeah, I mean that's
go
why
out there and buy players because I think the player that is preventing their production is going to get hurt.
I am at RB 25.
No, I know. I'm not saying. I'm talking about for the listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I would pay a second for him. I'd pay probably 2 seconds for him.
All right. I have 2 more names. I think that should be good. The next one's also a second-year running back who I think Jesse thought we were going to, Bashaw Tootin.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have him right in the same range. Yeah, 22, 23, 24 for us. Are we worried that it's his backfield to lose? Is that? I mean, can he do it? I mean,
I think he can do it.
I'm not worried about that. I mean, if you think if you're high on Scatterby, you should also be high on Tootin. He is going to.
I agree with
he's
that,
going
actually.
to get volume.
For the same arguments.
I don't agree with it just because the hype behind the players are different, and that matters a lot in Dynasty. So
I think Tootin was kind of a darling last year.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if Tootin struggles this year, like he will be written off completely.
Sure. I mean, if Scat does too, and they bring in a back, he's gone too. I mean, he has a bunch of aura, sure.
If they bring in any back for any rookie, that's going to tank value. I'm talking about like the hype behind the players is just different. I haven't seen many players hyped like Cam Scatterbo is hyped.
But I think
it's frustrating to me.
I agree with you, but I think it's aura farmed as much as it is actual production.
But that's what that matters though in Dynasty, right? Because that's what causes people to come in and make offers, right? That's the vast majority of Dynasty players are not good Dynasty players. The faster people accept that, the better, right? The popularity of players matters more than any Dynasty podcaster is going to give it credit for. People just like certain players, they go out there and buy them, right? Patrick Mahomes can struggle for another 2 seasons. People are going to go out there and buy him, right? Lamar Jackson can struggle for 2 seasons in a row. They're going to go out there and buy him, right? We've seen guys where they can just have stretches of bad play and people just want them to do well, right? Cam Scatterbo is a darling of the league. I don't even think it's close with Bashaw Tootin. I think people were excited when he was drafted because he's an electric player as far as his highlight film, but I don't think people are going to be as forgiving.
Yeah, I think Jesse meant the premise of it for the opportunity, the amount of touches. At least that's how I took it, and I agree with that. I mean, I think if you assume Scat's going to produce this year, then we should also assume that Tootin's going to produce this year, and so it should be relatively the same amount of excitement, though. Chad, I do agree with you that the name value does make a ginormous difference in Dynasty for the longevity of holding a player's value. I think for the short window, they are both very similar players in what we should and hopefully do expect.
I expect significantly more from Cam Scatterbo.
I actually don't. I think that they're going to see very similar production levels. I'm just telling you, projected like RB1, low end RB1 range if they're both healthy.
Well, I think Jacksonville's offense is going to be excellent, and Tootin's going to get a ton of touches, and I think he will produce very well. The problem I have with Tootin is the same problem I have with Scat, is that he's replaceable. For a big play back, for somebody with all that speed, he didn't make a lot of big plays last year.
He made the least, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a single play over 10 yards, which was kind of crazy.
Kind of my issue with him. So, no, he's not a player that I'm targeting.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I was telling you guys before the podcast started, everything beat writers are saying, how the offense was built with Cam Scatterbo. I think he's gonna get close to, I think he's gonna be 250 plus rushes this year, and I think he's gonna have a significant role in the passing game as well. I think he's gonna be literally a 3-down back. As much as I don't like it, and last year we were seeing, before he ended the season, 25 rushes, 15 rushes, 19 rushes, 6 rushes. In 2 of those games, he had 7 targets and 6 targets. So
yeah, I'd like to see him healthy.
Just saying
that's my risk with that kind of touches. The way he runs, his health.
Well, he's never been injured other than this kind of freak injury that he had.
Just the way he runs, his style.
Yeah, for sure.
Running,
it is scary, especially because he's not big.
Yeah. As we were talking about with Travion, lack of blocking due to size, the way Scat runs scares the crap out of me for any kind of longevity of being in the league.
Reminds me of Peyton Hillis.
That's just because he's white.
Oh,
How dare you.
he's a way better player than Peyton
He's
Hillis,
like Brandon Jacobs if you're going to do something like that. But
Brandon Jacobs is like 500 pounds.
ginormous. But the way they run is the exact same.
Yeah,
They remind me identically.
Yeah. But yeah, Bashaw Tootin is a buy for me. I love him at his range. I've been buying him everywhere I possibly can, and he's a very hard back to acquire right now. For the price you think he's going to go for. But I've been able to get him a couple of different places. I think he's going to have pretty good production as well. For me, he's just a little bit more of a scarier asset, and maybe that's a little bit of ignorance too, because I haven't really been paying attention to, what the beat writers and stuff have been saying in camp and what his role is exactly going to be, but how I project it. I just
Chris Rodriguez is hurt already, so he's been pretty much the lion's share back of all the first team stuff.
Yeah, I just don't see him as a high volume rusher, and so it's going to be interesting to see. Chris Rodriguez is not going to be injured forever, and he is big in the pass game. So,
and they have LaQuint Allen, who's also a decent running back.
He's good. He's a good pass catcher.
Yeah, decent back. Would
I just
either
think
one of y'all pay
for what you have?
Bona fide contenders 28 first?
No.
For him?
No.
That's the problem I have with backs in that range. I'm not paying a first.
That's his price point per keep trade cut. He's above a late 28 first.
Like I said, that's why I'm not attempting to acquire that type of back.
I would give two like mid to early seconds for Bashaw Tootin.
I don't want to do that. I feel like I can get Chase Brown for that first, and maybe if I had a second.
No, you cannot do that. I don't think you can do that right now.
I don't know. Maybe people stop sleeping on him, but I just
that was like week 12 of last season price. Yeah, you're not.
I've just always been able to acquire him
and get him. Yeah, now Chase Brown's considerably higher. He's up there. Per keep trade cut, he's right with Garrett Wilson.
I have an RB9.
And ahead of Luther Burden, if that says anything.
Yeah. He's a really hard back to acquire. Chase Brown is.
Yeah, I just, I'm just not paying a first for backs in that range.
Okay.
No way.
All right. Does anybody have any other players they absolutely want to talk about? I have one more I'd like to bring up that changed teams this year. So.
Well, I think there's a few more backs I want to talk about. The big one is David Montgomery. I think we've mentioned him. Actually, we haven't mentioned that much because we just started potting again. But we talk about him a lot, so it makes it feel like we've mentioned him.
Yeah.
But David Montgomery, one of my favorite buys this offseason, regardless of position. I mean, just incredible value, especially if you haven't done your draft yet. You can give up like mid to late seconds for David Montgomery and feel great about your RB2 coming into the year, because I think that's the kind of production he's going to get, if not better. So you talk about the only downside for David Montgomery is longevity, and at that price point, who cares?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm super excited about him this year. What do you guys think?
I love it. I mean, he's one of the players that on a contender I'd actually thinking about give up my 27 second for. There aren't many, but he is one of them that I would absolutely think about it.
Yeah. One other guy real quick that I just wanted to mention was Jonathan Brooks. I think he's probably one of the more divisive, back-end backs in the league this year. And, it's interesting. I've acquired a couple of shares just kind of in throw-ins, but I'm not sure on what the price is this year as if you're just buying them outright. I hope it'd be somewhere around a mid to late second.
The closest pick he is on keep trade, he's actually dead in between an early 27 second and a mid 27 second. So okay. I don't think he's at that throw-in price anymore, but it is the price of a second. So kind of in between Omar Cooper Jr. and Brenton Strange.
Yeah. When I say throw-in, I mean like on like large trades.
Yeah, big trades.
Really,
I got you.
Yeah, really big trades.
Yeah, I mean, he can win you the league realistically. He's one of the few cheaper backs that have an avenue without even injury to be a difference maker on your roster. Now,
Yeah.
he has the avenue of getting injured again for the third year in a row and basically becoming a dead asset on your fantasy roster. But Chuba Hubbard does not have to get hurt for Jonathan Brooks to become the alpha in that backfield.
Sweet.
So just a cheap back that is always available, seems like, is Jalen Warren. That's the kind of guy that I would like to wait and just acquire somebody like that and get me through. You know what I mean? Rather than pay the big prices for average talents.
I agree. That's a good one. Cool.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Overtime?
Yeah, let's do it.
Chad, dude.
What's up, man?
As I was watching, all right. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this before the show. I forgot, but let's talk about it now. If we say now, there's going to be some spoilers about House of the Dragon. Fast forward a couple minutes because we're going to talk. All right.
We should make that at the very end, so then people can just stop.
No, we want them to hear Jamie.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the spoilers. Is what I'm getting at.
So, like, I didn't realize it was an 8-episode season, so I'm just la-di-da going through the episode, having some good times, and then I realized we're in the middle of a war scene, and
everybody's dying.
Yeah, and it's dawning, and it's dawning on me that this is the season finale. Dang it! So, I'm confused about a couple things. Maybe you can clear up for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
So Ulf obviously turned on everyone.
Spoiler. Yep.
Yeah. Just turned on everybody and just burned everybody up. Did we see 3 dragons flying away at the end?
Yeah.
Didn't they seem to be flying together?
Well,
or were the 2 chasing
no.
Ulf?
So no, it was one chasing Ulf, and the third behind was just having fun. Is what I took from it. So it's interesting if you know about the backstory on the dragons. So Caraxes was the one second in line. It was Silverwing is Ulf's dragon, was being chased by Caraxes, right? And then the Bronze Fury is the one in the back, Vermithor. So Vermithor and Silverwing are said to be like lovers.
Oh.
So I think Caraxes was trying to get after Ulf's dragon because he betrayed and was attacking all the people. And Vermithor is just following behind him. Just like, hey, what's going on? What are we doing here?
That's One Eye's dragon.
That's the Hammer's dragon.
Oh, okay. Oh, what's One Eye's dragon's name? Aemond.
Aemon's dragon is oh my god.
The one that's missing right now.
I hate when this happens. What's her name? Oh my god. She's the biggest dragon alive.
The largest dragon in the world.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I just wanted to tell y'all we lost Dave because y'all had to spoil the show. Way to go.
He'll be back. Sorry, Dave.
Vagar. Yeah,
so
Vagar was the only dragon bigger than Vagar, if I remember right, is Balerion, which is like the original dragon that like took over the Seven Kingdoms. So fun stuff. She's very, very old. That's why she looks like she's about to die.
Oh, okay.
She's like the old, she's by far the oldest dragon.
So I guess I was wrong, but I thought Daemon was like the toughest guy out there. Pineapple hair beat his ass.
Oh yeah, that dude was big though, man.
He was big and he was heavily armored.
Yeah, he was like very heavily armored. It wasn't really a fair fight, man. That wasn't
carrying
like
a really heavy sword.
That's what I like though. It's like a war fight, right? Like, you know, in a war where like everything's happening around everybody and people are using different stuff, like would be different than if they were just like, you know, having a standoff in like a court proceeding, you know, when they when they do their
it was a
duels
tournament
to
or something.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's different at that point. But we also saw Daemon lose to like Kristen Cole and stuff too in earlier seasons. So which Kristen Cole is supposed to be one of the best in the universe at that time, like fighters.
Oh, was he? Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Arrow through the eyeball. All right, I guess I'm satisfied. What did you think? Did you think it was pretty true to the book or totally different?
It was very true to the book, that final episode. The interesting thing about the show is if you just kind of watch the show like casually and leisurely, it's fantastic. Just don't think about the details. Like if you start thinking about like how did this person get here, or why did this person or how did this person get here so fast, or how did this person send a raven to this specific person to get them information, like then stuff just stops making sense. But if you don't think about that kind of stuff and you just kind of casually watch it, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't think I just assume that they figured it out. They didn't show it because they figured it out. And I don't need to know. It's fine.
Yeah. It's just like the lady in the veil when Jane Eyre, when she sends the letter out and summons Damon to the castle.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself, like, wait, why would she summon Damon, number one, to talk to him? Because she hates him, right? And he killed her sister and she knows it. And then number two, like, how would she get in touch with him? Because if she sends a raven, it's going to go to King's Landing and the Queen's going to get it. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
they were just there. He was just there and they were talking.
Yeah. He just showed up one day. He was like, yeah,
that's fine.
It's like, I had an inkling you wanted something.
He was looking for his daughter. He decided to stop by.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm just so disappointed that I'm gonna have to wait a year and a half for the next season.
Hopefully quicker, man. I don't know. I haven't seen like when they plan to release it, but I know with granted it's like a much different show, lower budget and far less CGI if there was much at all in Knights of the Seven Kingdom, but that show I think is they're gonna have a really quick turnaround on. So I hope they're just trying to speed things up between the whole franchise itself, but we'll see.
Good. All right, Austin, your turn.
I'll go back to something I watched a couple weeks ago, Widow's Bay. It's a Apple TV comedy horror series. I know those two are pretty wild together, but
did you laugh?
Yes,
I didn't laugh.
It is hilarious and scary at the same time.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I didn't laugh.
How did you not laugh? Oh, you have terrible comedy taste. I forgot. We don't need to get into
terrible
this again.
Movie taste. No, that's the joke. Terrible movie taste.
Well, he doesn't like Rush Hour. He obviously doesn't
comedy.
Like good comedy.
Oh, that's slapstick horrible. Like,
oh, that's what this is. This is slapstick comedy with horror
common
stuff with it.
No, I like comedies a little.
Rush Hour is art, my friend. I don't know what you're talking
but
about.
yeah, it's a really good show. I enjoyed it a lot, to be honest. Did you like it, Jesse?
It was all right.
It's kind of what I expected from you, to be honest. Now that I know you watched it,
I didn't say it was bad. It was
yeah.
I mean, I would have thought it was fine, except I don't know why they had to make it another season. Like they keep finding ways to draw this thing out. Just get it over.
Well, it didn't close, so I'm glad it needed another season.
I don't think it.
I mean, I'd have been good with it being a short story series. I agree with that.
Another episode would have been fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny and spooky at the same time, which was fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I thought the tone was weird.
I mean, just by the genre itself, a horror comedy is like
it is unique for sure. Yeah, it's definitely unique.
I'll check it out. I'm probably not my thing, but
it's very popular. Most people have watched it. I didn't love it.
It got a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. I was pretty shocked.
What is it on?
Apple.
What's it called?
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
And it's short. They're like 26-minute episodes, 10 episodes, so it's not that long. Other than that, me and Hannah have been watching Deadliest Catch. I'd never watched an episode until
never either.
Probably 3 weeks ago, and we have now binged 3.5 seasons.
Wow.
And they're long episodes. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I can't believe I've never watched it, and two, it is crazy, like truthfully absurd what those guys do.
I actually watched 2 different fishing shows, so I understand.
Yeah, dealing with 30+ foot waves with 60-mile-an-hour winds while still catching crab.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just insane, man. It's pretty crazy. Like
I might check it out.
The first season, 6 people died in one episode.
Oh my God!
Now they don't show it. It's not the people on the camera, but 6 crew members of ships that they were halfway discussing died.
Oof.
The first season.
Oh my God!
And they just kept going. I mean, people are sad, but like they just keep going.
I don't know.
Like, oh, it's part of it.
I don't like watching shows where they're like working incredibly hard, and I'm just sitting there watching them, and I'm like,
in bed eating popcorn, kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm like, oh man,
this
is awful.
I watch Swamp People, where they fish for alligators.
Yeah,
I love that show, man. I can't get enough of that thing.
Alligators too much.
Is that the one
to watch them kill them? I can't do that.
Is that the one where like I thought that was going to be so cool, but I watched I can't remember what it's called. It might be the same one, it might not. But there was like one show where somebody was watching it and they're like, "Oh yeah, they catch alligators." I'm thinking like they actually catch the alligators. They just drove up alongside them and shoot them in the head.
I'm like, wrestle with them first.
So she just drove up on it and shot it.
Well, no, they grab the line and they gotta bring its head up and then they shoot it. I mean, there's a fight to it. I mean, it's actually fishing. And the other one I watch is River Monsters. I really like that one.
I've watched a little bit of that. That one's crazy.
Yeah. I think I've seen all of those.
Yeah, Deadliest Catch, it blew my mind. Like it still does. Every episode I'm like, people do this for a living. And
I might check it out.
I don't do anything near that at all.
Hey.
I mean, my life's cool. I enjoy my life.
Detailing cars is dangerous.
Sure. I mean, I thankfully do a lot more than that now, but it's not that, and it's.
I'm not detailing cars. Restoring cars.
Yeah, it's cool.
My bad. Not giving you enough credit. Restoring cars.
Well, I did detailing before, so you technically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were a mechanic.
Yeah, I'm on the mechanical side of things now, but it's still not on a 100-foot boat dealing with literally 30, 40, 50-foot seas, being outside catching crab. It's wild.
Cars can fall, heavy machinery. It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous out there.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate
it. You live a dangerous life, my friend.
There we go.
So I got one more is the wife and I have been watching an older HBO series called The Leftovers. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's like 12
never
years
seen it,
old.
but I have heard of it.
It was highly rated, is why we started watching it. It's very good. It's really, really good. The premise is
it's a show?
It's a show, yeah.
Okay.
3 seasons, I think. The premise is that 2% of all of the people on Earth just vanish. Like all at once on October 14th. And like some people were driving a car and that car crashes into something. Lady was putting a baby into its car seat, turns around, turns back around, baby's gone. That kind of thing. So it's more about the way people deal with it, the people that are left, the way people deal with it. But there's also a big mystery about, why it happened and who's connected and why and how. And I don't know.
Thanos. Certainly Thanos.
Yeah. It was just it wasn't a real snap. It was just like a pinky snap. Snap his thumb and pinky together.
he didn't know he did all the work and then he forgot he didn't know how to snap. His fingers were too moisturized. He couldn't get the sound. You just got to do 2% at a time. I feel like 2% is not enough, right? Like
it's enough for people to go crazy, apparently.
But like, if you're not involved in the 2%, you're probably like, whatever.
Yeah, those people exist in this show too. So that's kind of cool. That's a cool part too.
If it was like 30%, you'd be like, okay, all right, come on now. Like, this is getting out of hand. But 2%, I feel like I'm like, well, the common cold took out more people last year.
So, well, that's probably true.
I don't know. I was just saying something ridiculous. I don't know if that's true or not.
I was listening to a podcast about Are We Doomed? It's actually called Are We Doomed? And
Yes. In case you're wondering.
I think it was that one. It could have been. Anyway, I heard that if you took away 90% of the Earth's population right now, there would still be more people than there were in the Dark Ages, like in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
It's crazy, the population explosion that's gone on.
There's so many people in the world now.
God, I love you all, and I love you all, every single one of you that listens to our show. The rest, mixed feelings.
I've been wanting to see this show. I haven't watched it yet, but the creators of Stranger Things, who I kind of have beef with because I didn't like the last season. But anyways, beside the point, they released a new show on Netflix called The Burrows, and it's one of those shows that kind of like it strikes your attention when you watch the preview for it. Oh, is it bad?
It's all right. My wife couldn't get through it. She walked out on it. I thought it was okay. It's sort of Stranger Things for geriatrics. Like it's
okay.
It's, I mean, it's okay. I should give it more of a chance. I just didn't think it was amazing.
You can't relate to it?
No. I'm not as old as those people.
Oh, but I saw the new Spider-Man. That was fantastic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, if you get a chance.
Yeah, I've heard
it was really good. I think it was by far the best one of the series so far.
I'll have to wait for it to come out on VHS. Or on tape, as we used to say.
VHS.
All right,
the funny thing is everybody thinks that's a joke. Nobody told Jesse it's not coming out on VHS yet.
I used to have to come home from school and tape soap operas for my mom when I was grounded. That's how she kept me in the house.
Hey, I used to tape Dragon Ball Z when I was growing up. Used to have to take it out, flip it.
Rub it down, oh no.
Thanks for listening. Now go make someone overpay.